Hi, it's Skeet with BuskersBeat.com with another How to Be a Busker video. And I'm talking about weather today. Obviously, when you're performing outdoors, weather can be an issue, of course. Now, that said, I don't think most of my viewers need me to tell them to come in out of the rain. But I'm going to tell you some ways you can stay out if it's a little rainy or snowing even. I've done it. There's such a thing as sympathy money, and I've gotten some of it. I don't know if they were putting money in the jar because they really dug me and they thought my music was wonderful, or because they felt sorry for me because it was so cold. And I don't care. You know, just put the money in there. That's all we care about, right? So we've had some hellacious weather here on the Oregon coast the last few days. In fact, we had such high winds last night. In fact, wait a minute. Let me show you. Okay. You can probably tell by looking at this, we don't use it anyway. But of course it blew off the deck last night. We lost some trim. Blew off the house. We had some hellacious winds here. Reportedly up to 100 miles an hour in some areas. Shingles. As you can see, lots and lots of shingles. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, there's a Skeet mobile. Yeah. And we got shingles all over the place. Shingles. So, anyway, this has absolutely nothing to do with the subject of this video, except that it is, in fact, weather. So it's certainly weather related. Oh, another shot of the Skeet mobile. Oh yeah. And here, I'll show you another piece of trim that came off. And it's still laying here on the front porch. Oh boy. And it's that piece. So it's ugly. So there you go. So you can imagine, if weather can do that to my house, think what it can do to a busker. Obviously, you can't be out in really severe weather, but often we find those covered sidewalks and gazebos and that sort of thing in parks and all that can certainly get you in out of a little bit of rain. I wouldn't suggest that you sit out in the rain and ruin your instruments or ruin your props or whatever it is you use to do your show and get everything all wet. But a little sprinkle isn't going to kill you. I've stayed out in a lot of them. And as I say, you get the sympathy money. I think it's sympathy money. I don't know. Maybe they just love my act. So yeah, don't be afraid to go out when the weather is a little bit iffy. It might be worth your while. Here's the problem with bad weather. The problem is not our comfort, the busker, the street performer. The problem is that nobody's out there, perhaps. If they're out there anyway, if they can stand it, go. Because they'll give you money for being there in those kind of conditions. So if they're there, go. Dress warm or dress, you know, whatever's appropriate, and go. They'll give you the money. They'll really appreciate you there on a crummy day. And so I think sometimes it's worth doing. Generally, because of the inclement weather we have here in the Pacific Northwest, I'm from Southern California, so this is pretty horrible weather to me. You know, is about rain, but here on the coast it's also about wind too. and rarely snow. In fact, if it snows here, I'm going out. It's so unusual. If anybody is out there, they're going to feel real sorry for me and give me money. So it's so rare when it snows here that that's usually not an issue. Anyway, there's a little information about weather. I don't think I told you anything you don't already know. I just like to do videos. So, it's Skeet. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on How to Be a Busker. Yeah.